society.
Okay, so
But when that kid is all fucked up, you got to deal with them. Somebody made a fucked up kid, let that fucked up kid get loose, and he's whipping a frisbee around near your 2-year-old baby.
Okay, but this is why things are getting better. This is the side because people want to be better parents.
Amazing.
Like
28 people watching fucking Joe Rogan.
Criminals.
What the fuck?
They were abused as children in some way.
You're right, yeah.
It's
I'm gonna take it down. I had to get this
people aren't
live.
naturally violent. You know, people are the natural state.
I had to get this live.
Operate with fellow human beings. At least that's what we're evolving towards. And so think about it. Like right now,
I'm gonna let it run.
The state of nature, 200,000 years ago, you know,
Up a little bit.
everybody had to work.
I don't think I'm gonna sound like ass. I could be wrong, but
to survive, right? And now the average American can work from when they're 22 to 65, 8 hours a day with weekends and vacation time, and support a whole family for their lifetime on that. And if anything, it would be a lot less than that without the central banking system that we have today, without the systems of government exploitation robbing that exponential growth, or what should be exponential growth in quality of life. And it's still exponential, but not nearly as much as it should be. And you know what we're coming to, like, how are you going to convince people that you need a welfare state when you can work for 1 year and save enough money to live at the quality of life that we enjoy today for the rest of your life? That's and to me, that's what makes it such an exciting time to be alive. And you just look at how much less violence there is. And this is a really beautiful thing. You can look at government and be pissed off all you want. And this is where I've come to now as a Zen libertarian, is being able to see this bigger picture, and that the actual average amount of violence that an individual is subject to is at an all-time historic low for as long as we've been able to track it. That's part of that evolution. This is the natural development of life from single-celled organisms, from little molecules bouncing around in the primordial soup together. The essence of life is cooperation, is resources, of coming together, of energy coming into harmony. And that's what we're going through. And we're seeing like this process of 2 steps forward, 1 step backwards, and we're in the middle of a big step backwards right now that really is centered around the institutionalization of the Federal Reserve and the modern systems of government going back about 100 years. And within that time, we've had steps forwards, gay rights movement.
or is this like a recast?
Civil rights movement, not in how they were institutionalized in government, but what they represented for society were steps forward. But we're coming to this major step forward now when we get past this entire paradigm of statism. And it's a beautiful thing to see that as we're able to raise our children nonviolently, as we're able to be better parents because we have better prosperity and better just the leisure time, the ability to do things that the cavemen couldn't do. And
Run DMT.
raise children that are emotionally well balanced and
Fucking nice.
pathological behavior that is
I guess I have to have it like right fucking here now. Is that too loud? Right here? That's probably better.
In comparison to the Greeks or the Romans or anybody who lived in any sort of an ancient civilization, no one's ever had it as good as we have it. As far as the less violence, the more health.
Obviously.
Pleasure,
It's going to be 100 times better when we're 100 years in, too.
Being nice to each other, actually understanding what that's all about now. That's never happened.
False positive on the dumper. I wipe for good measure, though.
citizens of the empire.
But if you look at the rest of the world, though, if you look at it, especially the impact on some of the things that are necessary in order to produce the amount of power that's necessary to run this crazy sort of peaceful, easygoing country that we think of as America, where you drive around, there's really not that much crime. Drive around, there's really not that much violence. Well, how are you? Were you driving around on gas? Where's that gas coming from, dude? That gas is coming from a place that's getting bombed from the sky with missiles.
And that's where we
apartment buildings are blowing up. I mean, people are dying left and right. So is it possible to have all that shit without all the bad shit? Is it even possible to have in this day and age, or is this like an overclocked society? Is the only way to have a society like America possible is if they're at the very top of the food chain doing all sorts of fucked up unethical shit? Or is it possible to have the control over the resources that we have and still be ethical? Is it possible to run a society like this and not do anything fucked up?
I think even the way that you're asking that question is
Check this guy.
reinforcing
I don't know if this is actually him or if this is like a recast type deal.
Well, no, yeah.
Yeah.
It represents the framework from which you're coming from. This represents that status paradigm of how do we have an idea?
Yeah, it's got to be a
how do we have
recast.
society when you're using using government in a way that doesn't clearly define it. And when you really break it down, the only clear way to define government is a group of people with an arbitrary, geographically based monopoly on the initiation of force. That's what sets them apart. Like, if I go in and say, put a gun to your head and say, give me your wallet, I can't, that's wrong.
Or you can't be a gang member and go to war with another gang and say, look, these guys aren't murderers. They're in my army. I made them go to war with the bad gang.
Exactly.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, generally police, and it's what's sick is that we have to extricate. We have to pull out these legitimate functions of government in order to get rid of it. Like, it's really tricky with the police state, and it's an issue I'm really passionate about. One of the things that kind of put me on the map was the Jefferson Dance Party when I got picked up and body slammed by a police officer at the Jefferson Memorial for dancing in public. And that's my video that's got over 1 million views.
What happened?
Police state.
Pull that shit up, Brian.
Yeah.
Get out of here. You can't get it from the sound anyways. But
Brian just vanished.
Police officers do serve a legitimate function. The problem is that they've got a government monopoly on it. They provide for the public safety, but private security is obviously much better. And when you have this monopoly power, they're not accountable to the people. There's always that detachment. And it's the idea of government. You say, do we need government for society? Government is antithetical to society. If society is defined as how people come up with an identity and come together peacefully and cooperatively and engage in commerce and do productive things, and it's like, how do you? It's like saying, how do you live healthy with a giant leech on your back? Is that essential? And it's like, no.
Does government have to be a leech? That's the question. Does government have to be that? Is it possible to have a government where it's just,
where they provide for their people? I don't know. I've never seen it.
Help society run better.
I've never seen it.
We all take place in it. We call that government.
It could be not a leech, but it can never, by definition, be moral, and it will always then give someone an unjust power that is corrupting.
What he's asking is in violation of law. We'll find out.
Where's Brian? You want me to vamp?
I'm just giving you telling us you're arrested, but you're not telling us if you're dancing in here.
All right. This is Adam Kokesh taking over the Joe Rogan Experience podcast. Thank you very much.
Are you giving me a warning?
Dustin is here. My old co-producer from the radio show.
So, explain to me what happened. Picked you up and body slammed?
Well,
It's your problem.
I don't want to see it. No, so it's a bit of a story because it goes back like 3 or 4 years ago. There was a group of 18 people that were just a bunch of libertarian activists that liked Thomas Jefferson, and so they wanted to go dance because he was the dancing president. I didn't find out about this until after the incident. My Facebook wall got just covered with all these Jefferson quotes about how he liked to dance and bust out the fiddle at the White House and stuff like that. But they went and danced at midnight on Thomas Jefferson's birthday, just as a little like flash mob thing, right? And the security guards came and tried to like shoo them out of the memorial, and one of them was dancing out and got arrested. And they were like, what the fuck? And so they tried to fight it in court, and like 3 years later, the judge said, like, if the judge had said on the grounds of it's improper usage or it's a safety threat or it's like, there was a way that they could have legitimately said there's no dancing, but it's kind of a ridiculous thing to say.
Stop resisting.
You don't have control over your body, or if you move in a certain way, like that's going to be illegal, So it's kind of absurd on its premise, like most of the things of government when you really go down to the actual core premise of what it means to be.
This is your last warning before I body slam you and choke you.
You decided to go back because the judge said it was not appropriately reverent enough.
Reverend.
Yes. You had to be reverent of Thomas Jefferson. This is, a public memorial where you've got kids spilling drinks and playing with toys and cars and shit like all over.
Love that shit though.
You can't dance.
What's the video?
If you go to youtube.com/Adam Kokesh and then search for most viewed.
How do you spell Adam?
Kokesh.
What was it?
Kokesh.
Yeah. It's kind of a long video. It's 10 minutes. But so we went back and we decided we were going to start dancing, and the cops were waiting for us. So they said, "Who's in charge here?" And we all pointed to Thomas Jefferson, and the giant 30-foot statue of him. And this couple that was there just started dancing, and they bumped into one of the cops, and the cop was like pointing to his goons, "You go arrest them." And they're swaying, like hugging, like barely dancing.
Oh God!
And so the rest of us were like, "Well, fuck that, it's on." And I was listening to "You Can Do It" by Ice Cube, and you could barely call what I was doing dancing. But by the end of this, they picked me. The cop picked me up and body slammed me because I was resisting with my hands out like this, had my hands out in front of me, like I'm not violent. And he picked me up and body slammed me, and then kneed me in the ribs and choked me on the ground there. And the crazy part is, I was in the Marines. I was on the Marine Corps rugby team. I'm training for MMA right now. But if I didn't know how to fall, like I would have fractured my skull. Like if I had gone limp and flipped back on a marble floor, I would have cracked my skull open. But
yeah, you could have died.
I slapped the ground and I was okay.
Videos.
We did. It's the one top in the middle there. You can watch the whole thing unfold.
Is there somebody that's leading y'all here, or y'all just?
This guy body slammed you?
This is it's this little chubby guy with probably a really small penis.
Give you your warnings.
But
come out here and you demonstrate.
that's the people that are authorized to use violence by government. That's the police state for you.
He's got a sweet bike helmet.
Does everybody understand? Unless you live more than 50 miles away from the District of Columbia, you can spend the night.
So he comes up and he's threatening to arrest us without telling us that there's any law that we would be violating.
So it turns out that this is not live, and I'm getting fucking tired. What are we at? 12 minutes? Anyway. And dude paused the video for some unknown reason. I think what I'm getting to is that as a 3, I should probably work.
Sir, that's illegal. What would we be charged with?
You are too far away from the city to allow citation to reappear. Therefore,
And he just avoids the question.
hold you.
What?
What he's asking is a violation.
You'll find out,
You'll find out.
sir.
What am I being arrested for? You'll find out.
He's incompetent.
Yeah.
We're not demonstrating. If you're dancing in here, we're demonstrating. It's one. What is dancing?
Then we try to get a legal definition of dancing.
What if you're out of time and you're making movements with your body? That's still dancing.
Wow. What if you're out of time and you're making movements with your body? Is that still dancing? Yeah.
So look at this. Now he calls over his goons.
Free expression or free speech.
See, look at that. Look at the little finger
Oh,
pointing.
come on. Stop dancing. Oh my God, this is crazy.
This is nothing, man. This is just the beginning of this.
You didn't even give me a warning.
Oh my God, these cops are arresting her for dancing.
For standing and swaying. It's funny because this happened in New York. So there's me, sort of dancing.
You didn't even give me a warning. What is your problem?
This is crazy.
You didn't even give me a warning.
So this is what
You're not
we do
inside
now. Regular civil disobedience, where we just risk arrest and
I think I've seen
stand
that
up to
lady.
the
I think
bullies
that
of
lady's
government.
in front
We
of
had
the
the Kirsten in
moms.
Middleborough, Massachusetts last
Like she-
week.
Wow, this is crazy.
Where they
man.
made it illegal to curse. Did you hear that story? I was in Middleborough, Massachusetts.
I
We
did
went back
hear.
and had a protest and said we're just free fucking speech demonstration. So it wouldn't be complete with a little stare down with the cops there. And I really didn't think I was going to get arrested. Actually, I thought
What
I
is
was
this
going to
dude
dance
saying?
away.
What is this dude saying? You hate America, you hate freedom. You saying that to the cop?
Yep. So this is where it starts to get ugly. So he's like reaching out and punching him in the chest.
Stop resisting.
This is America when you dance in a public place. When you dance.
So this is the crazy part here.
This is your last warning. Sir, this is your last warning.
As he chokes him.
See, there he knees me in the ribs, and you see it go in like.
Yeah, but
3
isn't
inches.
resisting arrest still resisting arrest? I mean, even though it is as stupid as it is of what the charge is, and I mean, when
Well, that's
police
the point.
officers,
That's the point.
Civil
is to show the
disobedience.
violence of it.
Right. You're not gonna
there's
just
no
like
justification for that. The whole thing is ridiculous. Those cops, they wanted to maintain this sense
Bullshit
of
authority.
control.
Yeah,
bullshit
exactly.
sense of control and authority. And they didn't recognize something that was absolutely not a threat, just a bunch of peaceful people. Oh, they're hugging, and you gotta arrest them for hugging and moving their bodies. There's no justification for this. This is nonsense. You guys weren't causing problems or hassling people. I mean, if you look in the context of this video, this is insane. I don't know how these guys.
You cannot shut me up. That's not the way this works. You cannot shut anyone up. You cannot stop them from dancing. You cannot stop them from kissing. You cannot stop them from doing things that come natural to people.
Then they kick the media out. Like how perfect is this as a
He said nothing to me.
microcosm of what government is?
Who's got this camera? Who's filming this?
This is actually Dustin, the guy that's in the room right now. This was when I had my TV show in D.C.
No, I'm not keeping my voice down.
What is he filming this with?
I don't know, Dustin, you want to step in here? What are you filming with?
I can't hear you.
just a little camera, I think he said.
There's a small handheld camera.
It was a Canon from back in the
Nobody told you to stop filming?
It was funny because they kick out the mainstream guy before they see me. I was kind of just dancing along, kind of moving in ways.
Oh, so there's a couple other guys that were filming this as well.
Yeah,
Wow.
but what was really ironic is they kicked out, what Dustin said, they kicked out the guy from Fox. There was a local Fox network, I think, that was
Yeah.
covering it that day. They kicked him out. They kick out the guy with the big camera. And then Dustin, because, we were shoestring television.
What that right there was just idiots with power. That's all that was. Incompetent fools. That's a foolish person.
But isn't that a fun way to wake people up? To show people that?
He's a pussy. This is what I always say about any laws, any people getting arrested. I use what I call the Clint Eastwood method. Could you imagine Clint Eastwood in a movie holding a gun, arresting someone for that? If not, then it's a stupid law.
Yeah.
Because if you're not stealing
then
or
what's-
hurting
what's- then
someone
what-
or robbing someone,
Well, then what's a smart law, Joe?
a smart law is something that's set in place to
Common
make sure
sense
that
law.
people don't fuck 5-year-olds.
Yeah, common sense
Maybe
law.
that should be a law. You
So
know, there's
maybe
laws,
maybe the only law that
murders,
we should
good
have
laws.
are the ones that are based on respecting each other instead of having
Yeah.
a central authority deciding what even the standards of society are going to be.
Do you think that with the internet and what's happening now with the integration, of
He can't
society
he can't
and
fight a
with
law that
technology,
says
we're sort of slowly but
can't fuck
surely
5-year-olds, but he
getting
actually
closer to each other even than is comfortable, and it's going to
It
get to a
sounds
certain
like-
point in time where there's not going to be a whole lot of privacy in this world.
you just
Yeah,
can't
no,
say
but
that
I-
out loud
Well,
because
you know,
it's
right
such
now-
a
I mean, it's scary for us because we value privacy, but it
Which I
might
hate it.
ultimately be for the best.
I think it's always for the best. I have faith in technology because it's empowering, but it's kind of scary right now to see that
But it's empowering to itself. You know what I'm
Well,
saying? It doesn't have a
no.
moral idea. We have this idea that it's only for good until AI comes live. When artificial intelligence actually becomes sentient, there's a lot of scientists, very intelligent people that have studied this shit their whole life. That guy in that movie, the Singularity movie, was Kurt Russell's documentary? What was it called? Transcendent Man. Transcendent Man. There's a guy in England who's terrified of what he calls artilects, artificial intellects. He's terrified of the possibility of them actually getting to a point technologically where they can think for themselves and shut things off and create new ones and create new artificial intelligence that's more powerful and with more potential than they have. This is all real. Very, very possible. You can't say no. Like, this is
No, it's
100% possible.
It's scary. No, it's not.
So technology is not always
inevitable.
Yeah, but it's not always
grab the
good
fucking
for this. I mean,
There
it's
we go.
good. It is what the universe is, which is ever complex. just complexification on top of complexification
Right.
keeps moving in that direction. It doesn't stop. Stars explode and they eventually become fucking human beings. I mean, all of this is coming from this idea that things get more and more complex and more crazy. But it might not necessarily be good for humans. Technology might be terrible for humans. We might just be the rats that build the raft.
Well,
Might just be the monkeys that start the computer life form. They start the artificial ones.
Gods
and
in
zero
our
life
own
form.
sons.
And we say it's not real, but it becomes real when you make it real. If artificial intelligence actually becomes sentient, then it is real. That's a real life form. And we just don't think of it and respect it like we would an alien life form, because we think of it as something that we have control over because we just shut the power off. We just turn the switches on. For now, that's all true.
At some point, that goes away.
But if you give the computer program that you create the initiative to act on its own, and it's much more intelligent than you are, that things might get crazy.
Oh no, they are going to get crazy.
That's not good. It's not good for us.
Well,
I don't think that's going to be good for all the dumb fucks that
but
run through
then
this
you're
world.
like the person with the rotary telephone saying, "Oh, those cell phones, they're crazy. They're bad for you."
Well, yes, to a certain extent.
no.
I mean, if you talk to people that live in the mountains, they still stand by that shit. You're fucking yourself up with all those cell phone signals, and you don't need to check your email every 5 minutes. But we might be is just a step along the way. I mean, we surely are, right? I mean, we look at evolution. We look at these new fossils they just discovered today, where there was it was just a news release today about some hominoid that was a distant relative of ours that was upright and walking 6 million years ago. This is a pretty radical discovery. They're figuring this out. Just think of that. 6 million years ago, there was some fucking monkey thing. And then 6 million years later, boom, you and I are sitting in front of giant laptops, and ones and zeros are flying around through these pipes and wires and shit under the ocean. And whoa!
It's getting faster.
Yeah.
It's always getting faster and faster and faster. And that's
crazy.
You know what? That's what tempts me to be scared.
You should be scared.
Is that we're going to get to this point. We're going to the technological singularity coming in 20 years. And this is the implication of that. When we have a computer that's smarter than the human brain,
we're gonna call it.
That's like an arbitrary benchmark.
Right.
A more significant benchmark
no
in
reason.
a way is not a benchmark, because as soon as we have
Saw some cool shit.
the wheel, we're able to
Mighty
use
cool
that
dude.
to get more
That's a
technology.
win in my book.
Every
See you
innovation
next time. Take
builds
care.
on